City live here on Mike Drop Sports. We are going to kick off the show a couple minutes early, so we'll give people time to come in. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, still no movement on the Aaron Rodgers front and the quarterback front in general, except for some breaking news that I heard from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Dion says that the Pittsburgh Steelers were in possible discussions with maybe bringing Mason Rudolph back as a second type guy, a second team option, a backup quarterback option. And supposedly Mason Rudolph's representation have been entertaining those conversations, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are in discussions with Mason Rudolph, and this could be something as a little bit of a backup plan. Let's face the facts. I love Mason. I love Mason to death, my friends. I would love to see him get a chance. I don't know if he could be a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. I don't know. Probably not. The chances are probably not. But guess what? I like the guy. I feel a personal like for the guy. So definitely something that has to be watched and continue to watch. Also, according to Antonio Brown from CTESPN, Antonio Brown says a deal was done with Aaron Rodgers, and I seem to side with AB here. And I'm not just going out on a crazy whim and saying this. I'm not saying that I have inside information that it is done, but I trust AB's predicted some stuff before, so the guy's connected. But I'm not going off of just what AB is saying to be true. I'm going off the fact that I feel like Aaron Rodgers might announce this tomorrow on Pat McAfee's show. He does a weekly spot on there on Wednesdays, and that's very early in the morning, and I'm just thinking that might happen. I really am. Now, whether they get it done financially, how they make that work, I don't know. What's up, Daniel Warman? What's up, Mark Malone? What's up, Bobino? I never can say your name. AB says Rodgers to the Steelers. AB said it, Mark, and he's been right usually. So I'm going to trust with AB here a little bit. Again, guys, we started a couple minutes early, so we'll start to let people flow in. We'll also review the 2025 free agency period so far here during the legal tampering period. As free agency opens tomorrow on Wednesday officially, we'll review the moves of the Pittsburgh Steelers and discuss those moves and some of the departures of the Pittsburgh Steelers and how those compensatory picks could flow back to the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2026 and possibly even get a fourth rounder. And I know it's been reported to get a third round pick for Justin Fields going to the Jets, getting the money that he got. Now, guys, there is a complex formula. It's not complex. You can do the math, but it's just a bunch of bullshit. And from what I'm seeing here, it's probably a fourth round pick is what the Steelers will get. Maybe a third. I doubt it, though. The way it looks is a fourth, according to this formula through overthecap.com has it on there. M. David Dillinger Jr., I don't want Roger. He's too much drama, and he's going to want at least 2 to 3 years. Well, I agree. He is a little bit of a drama queen, no doubt about it. But the Steelers have backed themselves into the wall here, guys. They've put themselves into a bad situation for 2025 in terms of quarterbacks and how they can acquire one, how much this is going to cost, who they can acquire. The Steelers definitely are in a little bit of a predicament here. Last year, they went out and got a quarterback in Russell Wilson. They got Justin Fields. Then they were looking for the wide receiver. This year, they did it a little bit backwards. They got the wide receiver this year and didn't secure the quarterback. And now you're looking at a little bit of a little slippery slope the Steelers are now on, guys. And we're going to talk about that, too, here as the show goes on. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play 3 years. He wants to play 2. He's been on the record for that. He wants to play till he's around 45 years old. That's kind of where he's looking right now, but he said 2 years is where he wants to be. Now, that may have changed. That may be different now for Aaron after this season. I don't know. We'll see how this all transpires, but we will dive into that and talk about the possibility of what it could cost to bring Aaron Rodgers in and how that is all going to go. But in the meantime, guys, as we are building up here, as we are getting the show started, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us. It's absolutely free to do. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so, as we are here each and every day talking Pittsburgh Steelers, talking football, man. What's up, Chad? Chad Schrader says, here we go, Steelers, here we go. Nathan McDonald, give me A-Rod and let's go win some games. I took the liberty today after Nathan McDonald says that, and he says, hey, let's go win some games with A-Rod. I took the liberty today, and I watched the 2024 highlights of Aaron Rodgers, and I was trying to evaluate, just a basic evaluation of what he could still do. Yeah, he's old. He can still manipulate the pocket a little bit. He can still get out of some pressure situations. He can still throw the off-balance throw. He can still throw across the middle, and he's highly accurate. I'll give him that. I think the problem lied within the Jets this year, that they had no defense to speak of on a consistent basis, and I think that got them in trouble. As I was looking at a lot of those scores, you're seeing a lot of those scores in the fourth quarter. You know, Jets 24, whoever they were playing. They were decently sized scores. The defense wasn't coming up with a lot of stops. Aaron Rodgers still threw, 28 touchdown passes in 2024? So I still think he can do some things, and I don't think he's the Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay. I'm not saying that, but I think he can do some good things. And when you talk about the addition of DK Metcalf, you have George Pickens. I believe the Steelers are still going to add another significant name to the wide receiver room. I think you have Calvin Austin that can blow the top off of defenses that got way better last year. I think Roman Wilson has a chance to shine. I truly enjoy Ben Skoranek. I think he can definitely do some things. I think the tight end room is really, really good. And I know people don't want to look at that and say, yes, it is because of the lack of production last year. But the Steelers didn't throw where these tight ends needed to be done. They need to eat in the middle of the field. They need to eat all over the middle of the field, and the Steelers weren't executing there in a big way. I also think that a move in which the Steelers did, making sure that they were getting Jaylen Warren, was a big one. Putting a second-round tender on him, and giving the Steelers that home run hitter. He's not just a home run hitter. He's a guy that can get it done on all three downs. Is he a bell cow back? Is he a back that's going to run every single down in, down out? No. But he is a guy that can get it done on a consistent basis, and he can be your lead runner, man. He can definitely do that. And I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers address the running back situation here at some point throughout the offseason, whether that be through the draft, whether that be here in free agency, whether that be through undrafted free agency. I do believe they address it, and I think they get something done there, too, to shore that thing up. But again, the Steelers, with the weapons that they have, I think Aaron Rodgers would be able to get the job done. And I do think that he would be able to win some ball games. Is that Super Bowl level ball games? Is that what he's going to be able to do? I don't know what that answer is. I doubt it, but it's a possibility. I would never say never. I think Aaron Rodgers gives the Steelers a fighting chance. I think he gives them a better chance than what Russell Wilson gives them. And if you're Russell Wilson, let's talk about this for a second. If you're Russell Wilson, boy, is this playing into your hand, because somebody's going to overpay you in a big, big way, because you are sitting there waiting for Aaron Rodgers to drop, and you are just collecting money by the minute, because you are going to be the last viable option for a ton of teams that are quarterback needy. And Giants being one, Titans being one, Steelers being one, somebody is going to drop a bag on Russell Wilson. And he is playing this absolutely perfectly. He is actually just fell into a pile of shit and is going to come out smelling like a rose. Now, is he going to go to a place that he can win ball games? Probably not. I think Aaron Rodgers comes to the Steelers. I believe Aaron Rodgers already has a deal in place. I believe he announces it tomorrow on Pat McAfee's show. I believe Aaron Rodgers will be a Pittsburgh Steeler in 2025, whether we like that or not, whether it's the right decision or not. I believe that to happen, and boy, Russell Wilson is going to be a major benefactor here in a monster way. I'm telling you guys. Let me get a drink in the meantime. Double tap that screen, man. It's absolutely free. Hit that like button. We're here talking Steelers every single day. This is the place to be, man. We're marching toward 10,000 subscribers. We're going to give away a signed TJ Watt authentic game jersey. So make sure that you get on board, get that Mafia membership, 99 cents a month, and subscribe to the channel. It's definitely going to be worth what you can find in your couch cushions, 99 cents, baby. Give you a chance to get one of those good TJ Watt signed jerseys, baby. American Militia, best Steelers chat on the web. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Rodgers is cooked from American Militia. M. David Dillinger, what's the chances of Pickens being traded? Heard some sources today that he could be a draft day trade. Is it out of the realm of possibility, David? No. But you're going to hear, guys, these so-called sources, and I'm going to talk about something with sources. Oh, thank you, Too Evil, Too Hope, with the super chat. We're going to get to Too Evil, Too Hope super chat in 1 second here. Thank you, my friend. These so-called sources that act like they know everybody and their brother, that they act like they know everything that's going on within the league. Guys, all they are talking about is the same situations that we can all come up with in our own head. These are all just regular, yes, face value situations. They're talking about them. They're exaggerating them up, making them seem like they're giving you some earth-shattering news. No. But what David's talking about, that just pisses me off when people say that constantly. Sources. Like, my Lord, just talk. You don't got to try to make yourself look good. I hate when people say that. Not you, but what David's saying, could Pickens be traded? Yeah, it's an absolute possibility. But it puts the Steelers back in that same situation of DK and who else? You know what I mean? They would probably be better served to just allow George Pickens to roll out the season, and try to, if you arm up with Aaron Rodgers, say you arm up with Aaron Rodgers, you just ride with GP and let him roll when it's done, if that's the path you're going to take. You know what I mean? Maybe you go out there and you're able to acquire a Cooper Kupp once he's released here. Maybe then you do let George Pickens go. Maybe then you roll a Cooper Kupp and DK Metcalf. Maybe that's the situation. But the situation's going to dictate that. And as this all unfolds, we'll just continue to monitor it. But it's a definite possibility. What could he fetch? I'm guessing probably a third. Maybe a second. You ain't getting a first-round pick out of George Pickens, but maybe a third. Too Evil, Too Hope, the top priority is extending Tomlin. Since Ben, he's the best coach in the history of the universe. Huge hands, Kenny Pickett will get the job done. Yes. Hey, Mike Tomlin might get a lifetime extension. We're going to talk about Mike Tomlin here, Too Evil. That was a good one. You made me laugh. I needed to laugh today, man. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. But I want to talk about Mike Tomlin, man. Aaron Rodgers has a habit of getting coaches fired. Maybe it is a good thing. But here's the thing, though, honestly, in reality here. Maybe this does force the hand of the Rooneys. Say they do go all in. Say they do pay Aaron Rodgers $90 to $100 million for 2 seasons. Say that is the case. I'm hypothetically thinking here, guys. I'm not saying it is what they would pay him. But say the Rooneys do this. Say they go out and they bring in Cooper Kupp. They leave George Pickens on the roster. They create a super offense. They give Mike Tomlin every tool and no excuse not to succeed. Correct? All of a sudden, that's what he has. Maybe it forces the hand of the Steelers, if this doesn't work, to move on from Mike. If that's the case. Maybe this will show the true colors of Mike Tomlin to the Rooneys. Maybe they've been blinded by something. I don't know. These are all hypothetical things that I'm talking about. Maybe it could spell the end of Mike Tomlin. Maybe this is something that Mike Tomlin really doesn't even want to have happen because he knows he ain't going to have any excuse. He's not going to be able to use the quarterback excuse. He's not going to be able to use the wide receiver excuse. He's going to have all the tools at his disposal. The coaching staff isn't going to be able to be an excuse. Why? Because he hires them. So those things may all compound and bring Mike Tomlin's era to an end in the city of Pittsburgh. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. hypothetically talking here, guys. All right, guys, we need you to double tap that screen. It's absolutely free to hit that like button. Hit that like button for us because we are always chasing 100 likes here on Steel City Live. This is Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. As always, we're going to dive in. We answer a lot of your chat questions. If you want a place that your voice is going to be heard, here's the place, man. Come and we will do our best to get to your chat question. We usually get to a ton of them. So make sure this is the place that you come each and every day as a fan. This is the place you're going to get the most interaction. And I firmly stand by that. As always, guys, you can support us by hitting that like button. Super chats are always open, and there's other ways to support our work inside of our bio on our channel page. And also, guys, 99 cents a month to become a Mic Drop Mafia member always supports our work that way. As we are trying to take over this YouTube game one day here, we're just slowly doing it. Well, not slowly, but we're doing it. Mark Malone, what does Rodgers do that's dramatic? I honestly have never paid attention and don't know. I feel like he just has more of a diva type attitude, like the wide receivers, how they just have that self-centered attitude. And I think that's what people get at with Aaron, that everything has to be his way or no way. And he's like real self-centered. That's why I believe people think that he's drama more than anything. Now, he doesn't get in trouble, none of that shit. But that's why I think people think that he's dramatic and drama-filled. Steeler Lee, I'd rather tank with Mason than get Rodgers. Yeah, I mean, honestly, would it be a bad idea? I don't think so, man. Steeler Lee, I think you might be onto something. Armand Perone, Rodgers, as of now, best quarterback available, maybe more money, but Tomlin, Rooney, grossly overrated. That's coming from Armand. Good to see you, my friend. Nathan McDonald, makes no sense to trade GP now. Then we're stuck in the same spot as we were last year with one elite wide receiver surrounded by a bunch of scrubs. Yeah, you'd be back in about the same predicament. No, absolutely, Nathan. Daniel Warman, if you spend $90 million on Rodgers, you better have a strong line. I'm 60 years old, and I promise I can outrun Rodgers. Damn, Daniel, you get to it, baby. Sorry, guys, I had to have a drink. Yeah, man, Aaron is getting up there. He is on the wrong side of 40, guys. I don't think 90 million would be it, but I have reason to speculate that if Aaron Rodgers were to be signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, that it will be for around $25 million. And the reason I'm saying this, and I was right about what Justin was going to get paid, but the reason I'm saying this, and I'm using the same thought process as I was with Justin, is why I brought that up. Not to brag that I was right, but just to say why I'm thinking this. There's a reason that every quarterback is on the pay scale that they're on. And you look at each quarterback and you say to yourself, where are they at in their career? What do they want to accomplish at this point in their career? And that's why I think if he does come to the Steelers, that it's at a lower cost. Why? Because he wants to go out on top, and that's all he talks about. He doesn't want to finish his career like he did with the Jets, 5-12. That wasn't how Aaron wanted to finish. And the only reason he's going to come back is to try and do way better than that. And I believe that that's why he gives a discount. I believe that's why you get him for around 25, maybe 30. I think that to be the range. I think it's 2 years. This is how I believe it's going to be structured when he does join the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I believe he will be by tomorrow, for sure, 1,000%. But again, we really don't have to know. The Steelers aren't going to get anything better. They could bring Mason in, tell him he's number 2, and if it doesn't work out, Mason looks like this is your team, baby. Here you go. So, I mean, nothing really changes for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think they have enough interest in Russell anymore. And again, it doesn't matter when Aaron tells them or not. But anyway, I believe the deal is going to be around $60 million, 2 years, probably fully guaranteed. I think that's how it works out. I think that ends Aaron Rodgers' career. I think that gives you 2 years. I think that gives you time this year to take a chance on maybe a rookie and bring a rookie in. I think it's going to be Aaron, Mason Rudolph and a rookie in that quarterback room with Skylar Thompson as that fourth practice squad guy floating around. Maybe. This is just hypothetically thinking. And then, if that rookie isn't showing you any promise, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are building immense amounts of draft capital for 2026, and I believe they go out there and they try to really make a splash move in the draft in the city of Pittsburgh in 2026 and get their guy and really take a big swing at it then. I think that to be the game plan for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's really the only logical path that they have according to right now how this is all played out. Right now, how this is all transpired over the last couple days and throughout this offseason thus far, that is the path. That is the road that they have to travel right now. Whether, again, we think it's right, wrong, indifferent, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's the road that makes sense. It's the only road that makes sense at this point. You can't go out there right now and trade away the world to get a quarterback. You can't do that. The Steelers aren't in that position. They need to still continue to build the roster up for when they do get the opportunity to get a long-term guy under center. That's what they got to continue to do. Continue to mold this offensive line that I think is going to be fantastic, full of young players. And I know a lot of people want to talk about how horrible they were, and they weren't good. But that offense wasn't good as a whole, man. But I think this young offensive line is going to really, really grow, guys, and I'm not going to discount them. Let's keep going here, guys. Make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button. It's absolutely free. We're always chasing at least 100 likes here on the live stream, so make sure you do that. Share the show. Send us out into that YouTube algorithm. Again, guys, appreciate the super chats. 99 cents a month gets you a Mic Drop Mafia membership, so make sure you guys pony up on that. I appreciate that. It helps support our work. American Militia. Rodgers is worse than GP in the locker room, a shit talker on his own teammates. I haven't followed Aaron closely enough, American Militia, so I'll take your word for it, my friend. I've heard rumblings of that, but I haven't followed him closely enough and covered him enough to really give an accurate assessment of that. So I'll trust what you're saying there. M. David Dillinger, I agree. There's no need to trade GP, but some sources saying that due to both wide receivers being high egos, that it won't work well in the locker room. I think it's going to be the exact opposite, David. And again, I carefully listen to some of these people because some of these people, it's their job to stir up shit. And I get it. That's why I don't do it here. I don't create shit storms for no reason. But I think GP will benefit from DK Metcalf. And I think if GP has good people around him, that he'll understand that having DK Metcalf is going to benefit him in an enormous way. Why? Because you can't one-on-one cover DK Metcalf. Look at his body size, guys. You cannot afford to one-on-one him constantly out there. And if you're coming out in 3 wide receiver sets with the tight end and Pat Freiermuth, a single setback, and Jaylen Warren, I believe that you have too many weapons out there for you to sit there and try to double up. Go ahead, you can try to double them up with a linebacker or something. What are you going to do? Get smoked there. I'm just saying there's not enough combinations of players to double cover both of them all the time. And that's going to free up major opportunity for George Pickens, my friends. Let's keep going. And I don't think that will be a problem, David. I think it's going to work the opposite of what we're talking about there. And I understand why you're saying it. I believe both their egos to be high. But you've never heard a bad thing come out of DK Metcalf's camp in terms of him causing major issues, in my opinion. I haven't heard a bunch. I mean, again, he's not a player I cover all the time. So I could be wrong there. Sean, what's up? What did I miss? The time change had me all messed up with the show. It's all right, Sean. You ain't missing nothing. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh in the house. Mark Malone, we need a Rodgers/Rudolph type to sling it. Yeah, guys, I'm all on board with the pocket passers, man. That's exactly how I want. That's how I want to get it done. What is up, Roberta? Good to see you. Dirty Davis. I know, me too, Dirty. I'm almost sick of hearing about it. To be honest, I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. But we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it. It's stressing me out too, brother. Nathan McDonald, do you think Chubb would be a good addition to the backfield? Absolutely. Adding Nick Chubb to any backfield is a solid thing, Nathan. How would he fit with one Jaylen Warren? I think very well. I think you could use Nick Chubb on a more ground and pound type situation, and Jaylen as that change of pace back still. But I believe Jaylen needs to get more of the lion's share of the carries this year. I think he's earned it. I think he's shown the respect of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the trust that they have in him by letting Najee Harris go. Najee Harris going out to the Chargers, getting $9.1 million for a 1-year deal. That just shows you people aren't really trusting Najee at this point. He's got to go out there and prove it. A 1-year deal doesn't show a lot of trust in somebody. I know the money was there, $9.1 million. But again, does it show a lot of trust? I think the answer is no there. American Militia, no old quarterbacks. We need to go forward. I agree. I just think that it's a timing situation right now, American Militia. Everybody wants to go young. Everybody in Steelers Nation is screaming, we need a young quarterback. And I agree, guys, 1,000%. I agree with you. You know my feelings on that. No doubt. If you've watched this show, you've watched this channel, you know that I am all about getting younger. I'm never about getting older, and I hate the old Band-Aid signings. I don't like them. But it's all about timing, guys. Name a place they can go get a young guy right this minute. There isn't. There isn't. And again, they could draft one this year. They could draft one next year. They could start swinging for that. But in the meantime, you have to have somebody as a bridge. And right now, the Steelers painted themselves into a corner to where only old people are available. That's just it. Older players are the only two that are really of significance that are available right now. So I've heard people say, trade for Joe Milton. Why? What do you got to give up? Do you think the Patriots are going to give him up for nothing? They want him to go to a good place. But this is a business, my friends. They are not giving him up for nothing. They're not giving him up like the Chicago Bears gave Fields up for a freaking handful of dirty pocket lint and a chewed up piece of old bubble gum. They're not going to do that. The Patriots aren't retarded, man. They're not stupid. They're not going to do that dumb shit. They're going to want some return. They're not just giving Joe Milton away, guys. Why would they? They signed Josh Dobbs, yes, to a 2-year, $8 million deal for former Pittsburgh Steeler Joshua Dobbs to head to New England here in free agency. However, Joe Milton isn't going to be given away for nothing, guys. And for the fans out there that want to sit and act like it's just that simple to go trade for Joe Milton or go make a trade of some sort to bring in a quarterback, it's not as easy as just saying do it, guys. You can't exhaust all your resources and expect to be competitive. There is a reason that the draft takes place every year. The NFL is not for long, guys, and players are in a very high turnover career field. And the Steelers are no different than any other team. They got to continually be replenishing the cupboard. And they can't just give away everything. They can't financially paint themselves into a bad spot. It just doesn't make sense, guys. Now, if they could get it on a good deal, if they could get Joe Milton on a 3rd or a 4th round pick, and if that's the direction you want to go and you have enough trust in him, go for it. But I think that there is a crop of quarterbacks coming out in 2026 that makes sense to where you don't put yourself in a bad spot here in 2025. I just don't see why a lot of us aren't looking at a deeper picture. Because, guys, the Steelers aren't Super Bowl contenders in 2025 right now. They're just not. That's the reality. Could they be in 2026? Maybe. But why risk your future for uncertainty? I don't know. I know the draft is a lottery, but you're spending one pick on each player. I'm not going to go trade with the Patriots and give them a 3rd rounder this year, a 4th rounder next year, or a 2nd rounder next year, and a 3rd rounder this year, whatever, because the Steelers already traded their 2nd round this year. So you got to it's all just a big game. It's not as easy as we all think. All right, guys, make sure to double tapping that screen, hitting that like button. We are going to get to the comments as much as humanly possible here tonight. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, again, it's absolutely free to hit that like button, share the show, send us out into that YouTube algorithm, as we are one of the better shows here on YouTube. I firmly believe that, not because of me, But because of this chat community, you guys are absolutely stellar. We have some of the best fans out there in Steelers Nation right here on Mic Drop Sports. So we're going to keep going through. I got to get a little sip of coffee. Defense would have to show up. I agree. Defense does have to show up, no doubt. Armand prone. Rodgers has better vision of multiple targets. O-line keeps him alive and he will win. 10 and Khan and Tomlin can mess it up next year. Yeah, I think he can win 10 games too, Armand. Wilson will go to the Giants. That's from David Dellinger. A.K. Davis, what's up? Hi, Jason. Can't believe we are in this spot. I hope they do not pay Rodgers $45 million a year like I heard. Need to build the team for next young quarterback. That's where I'm at too, but I don't think Rodgers is going to do that. That's the rumor. $90 million is the rumor, but I don't think it to be true. I believe that was reported from Pelissero, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't want to quote anybody because I'm not sure. Let's talk about right now, guys, what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done so far in free agency. I'm going to talk about the 2-year deal and a departure of one of the inside linebackers, that being Landon Roberts, who was a phenomenal Pittsburgh Steeler, a guy in which I really had a lot of faith in and I believe played really, really good. In the final game, in that playoff game, he was the stud. He was the best inside linebacker on the field for the Steelers that day. However, I got to caution you guys, Patrick Queen was suffering from a absolute horrible sickness during that game. That's came out. According to reporters inside of the locker room, they were afraid they were going to catch this shit from him, that he had some super funk, that he was like 50%, man. He was not good. So we'll give him that. But Harrison, a former Baltimore Raven here, signed to a contract here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 years, $10 million to come in. Also, you have the contract restructuring of Cole Holcomb, whom would have returned if the Steelers continued on in the playoffs. So I believe the Steelers right now are going to rely on Patrick Queen to provide that thumper, that hitter type stuff that they need. And I believe the other guys are more of speedier guys that are going to fly around and be able to be used in pass coverage. I believe Harrison provides that depth. Malik Harrison, again, former Baltimore Raven, Ohio State guy, is going to come in here, and I think he's going to be a good contributor, again, on special teams, especially, no pun intended. But he was somebody that they picked up and I thought was a good move. I hate to lose a Landon Roberts, guys. I really, really do. But Landon moves on to Las Vegas now, and I think he'll be able to be the number one linebacker there with the Raiders. So best of luck to Landon. What a run with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was one of the best, man. I love to watch him play football. I love the way he hit people. I love the way he approached the game each and every week. All right, guys, we got to get those likes up, so make sure we're starting to double tap that screen, man, hitting that like button. It's absolutely free, guys. If you want creators out there on YouTube to continue to provide content each and every day, you got to support them by hitting those like buttons, man. It's easy, it's free, it's absolutely cheap as hell. It's rainbows, bitch. Shit is cheap. Again, we talked about the revised contract for Cole Holcomb. They saved nearly $5 million in cap space. There, the Pittsburgh Steelers did sign wide receiver DK Metcalf on the trade with the Seahawks, giving up that second round pick and swapping 6th and 7th rounders. But 5 years, $150 million for DK. I know that sounds steep to a lot of you, but here next year and the year after, boy, you're going to be talking about what a cheap deal the Steelers have for DK Metcalf. The Steelers have placed also the second-round tender on Jaylen Warren. We talked about that. That's a $5.346 million tender right now, which is what it's worth. So any team that signs him would have to give the Steelers a second-round tender and pay him that kind of money. The New York Jets are signing Justin Fields, so the Steelers lose him. We talked about what his value is going to be in terms of a compensatory pick to the Steelers. I believe it to be a 4th rounder with the math. We'll see. Maybe it bumps up to a 3rd, but I doubt it. It's going to depend on how a lot of other dominoes fall inside of this free agency period too. The Pittsburgh Steelers also are trying to finalize this Darius Slay deal, guys. There's an issue with that. Remember what? He was supposed to be a Baltimore Raven last year, guys. Do we all remember this? Instead, he returned to the Eagles. He wasn't able to get it done. It was all but reported to be finalized again that he was going to be a Baltimore Raven, and that ended up didn't happen. It ended up didn't transpire, and now I worry that the Steelers are in that same spot with Darius Slay. So there's some things that still need worked out. He's not officially signed as of right now. I do believe, maybe I may be wrong, but I don't believe he is officially signed just yet. Also, Larry Ogunjobi was released, guys. That saved the Pittsburgh Steelers $7 million. He had a dead cap hit of 3.5. So that's where that went. We talked about Malik Harrison. So also Dan Moore Jr., he went to the Titans. He got $82 million, $50 million guaranteed over, I believe, 4 years. Who else? Dante Jackson, 2 years, $13 million with the Chargers. So that's two players that went to the Chargers. And the Chargers basically picked up two of the Pittsburgh Steelers players and spent over $20 million on those two players, getting Dante Jackson and Najee Harris. So there you go with the Chargers. And again, Landon Roberts, $3 million deal for 1 year with the Las Vegas Raiders. So that's a recap so far of what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done. Just reading some of your chats here. Again, guys, I'm going to try to go down through. We read AK. Good to see AK. Mark Malone, let's pray to God we don't re-sign the midget. Russ. I really can't see anyone paying him that much, though. I can. Again, I think that he's playing this. He fell into a pile of shit, and he's going to come out smelling like a rose, guys. And he's going to get paid a bag because he's going to be the only one left standing. I believe he gets over $35 million. I believe he'll be upwards of $40 million by the time it's all said and done. American Militia, every quarterback option at this point is terrible. Just getting us set up for next year. Agreed. Armand Prone, Pittsburgh has Lions, Vikings, Buffalo, Lions, Thursday 10-7 with Rodgers, and I'd take it. Oh, you're talking they play those teams, yeah. CD Football, the Steelers are mid. Thank you, CD. We appreciate it. Duck Plucker, Rodgers for now to teach Jackson Dart. Relax. Here we go, Steelers. Joe Vlogs, please, Mr. Rodgers, come and get rid of Tomlin. It might be the way to get rid of Tomlin. No doubt, Joe. Good to see you. Downtown Jaw Broadway in the house. Hey, fellow Steelers fans. And let the jokes begin because we are now the freaking joke. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers a joke? I don't know. It's starting to look like that at times, isn't it? Woo! We are fired up here tonight, guys, on Steel City Live, man. I appreciate it. We got to get those likes. 3 more of you double tap that free like button. It's absolutely free, my friends. Go ahead and hit it. Let's get up to 40. We're always trying to get to 100 likes at least, so let's get up there, man. It's absolutely free, my friends. Sports Productions, what do you think of DK and Pickens together? I think they could be one of the greatest dynamic duos in Pittsburgh Steelers history if utilized correctly. That's saying something when you had Lynn Swann and Roger Staubach playing together. I'm not saying they're going to be better than them. It's a totally different era. It's basically virtually impossible to compare the two guys, and I know people want to compare those. But again, I think they'll rank up there as one of the dynamic duos that really paid big dividends for the Steelers if they can get somebody to throw them the football. Let's face it, guys. Mason Rudolph can sling that fucking rock now. Let's not discount Mason. Mason can throw that fucking deep ball way farther than Russ. I'll tell you that. Mason got a fucking cannon now. He can fire that son of a bitch. Fire that fucking pigskin. Remember it? Napoleon Dynamite. Brian, 23. We need to trade up to get Sanders. I just don't think, Brian, it's even feasible, man. And I know a lot of people want to do that. I love Shador. I think Shador's going to have an excellent NFL career if put in the right situation. And again, I say that again, that last part, put in the right situation. I think that's imperative for Shador. I love Shador Sanders. I admire that young man. I admire everything that he's done. He started every game in high school, started every game in college except for one. Shador is a machine, and I enjoy watching him play ball, and I would not be opposed to having him. But we have to be realistic, Brian. It's not going to happen. They're not going to trade up to go get him. He would have to really dramatically fall in the draft for the Steelers to attempt to go up. The Steelers' best option probably here in this draft is to trade back from 21 and gain some other draft capital. Pick swap with a team that's back a little bit further, that wants to move up to get a player of need. Take their pick wherever in the first round. I don't think it matters, honestly, and try to get a mid-round quarterback. Let's face it, Shuck is the answer, guys, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. But Shuck is the guy out of Louisville that they need to pick up. I would love Rodgers, Mason, Shuck. Boom! Let's go. That's a winner. That sounds like a fucking winner, baby. Rubber Road in the house. What's up, Rubber Road? It isn't like there was a bumper crop of great quarterbacks available this year. Aaron was the best of the bunch for the short term, and we have said over and over the 2026 draft is where we get our quarterback. Absolutely. It just wasn't. And again, a lot of fans are going to sit out there and they're going to blow things out of proportion with, leaving a lot of key factors out. That's the problem. That's the problem with the fan base, period, of the NFL. Everybody wants everything done right this second. They don't weigh in all the variables. And again, the crop of quarterbacks was not good. When Justin Fields was the top of your fucking list, that tells you something, my friends. That tells you a great deal, doesn't it? A guy that's been unproven, getting $40 million, 30 of it guaranteed over 2 seasons. Come on, my friends. Hold on, guys. Let me see what's up. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I was just looking at something. Someone saying that we are actually in talks with Rudolph. Yes, Mark, they are. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in talks with Mason Rudolph and his representation. 1 year, $22 million. That's from Joe Blogs. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Rodgers. Mike Brown, the Bengals owner is scrapping copper and hitting the Coinstar machine, trying to get Chase and T. Higgins signed. Hendrickson probably will be traded. Yeah, they're in a bad situation. You're paying Joey Burrow, $55 million or something like that. You're going to pay Chase over 40, and you're going to pay T the tag of $30. There's $100-some million, dude. Way over $100 million. Zah says, great content. It's okay to say you're right. Oh, thanks, Zah. I appreciate you, man. I just hate to report on things and say things definitively because I got to say something, man. And it's been bothering me. And I don't want it to happen to me. I don't. I got to stay true to myself, guys. There's channels that cover football that I watched way back when they started. And now that they've progressed a little bit and they've garnered some subscribers and some success, it's all about the sources and the insiders and the commercialization of the bullshit. And they entertain all the rumors and they put up the clickbait titles and they follow suit, man. That I don't want, please, dear Lord, don't let that happen to me. I don't want to be fake like that, man. It's been bothering me. Man, it's been bothering me. I just wish people would stay true to themselves. Donald Loudenback, I told you all the Steelers would fuck things up. Thanks, Donald. What's up, brother? Berserker in the house. I'm more excited about who the backup is going to be. Joe Milton is interesting. Yeah, he's interesting. But again, guys, they're not going to give him away for nothing. And the Steelers don't got much more to give via trade. Just saying. They're not going to do it, man. For nothing. And that's the thing. I'm not saying they wouldn't trade him because I know they would trade him. But it's going to be the right price. And what are you willing to risk for Joe Milton? The guy got smaller hands than Kenny Pickett, doesn't he? Aaron has the gift of gab. He does, that's for sure, Zob. Where are we at? Mark Malone, yeah, I'm hoping for Rudolph and Shuck. Owen Harrison, I finally learned his name right, too. I was always saying Shao or Show. Owen Harrison, Mason did good for the Titans. Roberta Campbell, the reason the quarterback scale is thanks to the Browns and Watson deal. Yeah, now you see Josh Allen break that deal. Or the Bills correct for doing it. You know, there's a guy who goes to the Super Bowl every fucking year, and his name's Patrick Mahomes. He don't make as much as these clowns. I'm just saying, this kid goes to the Super Bowl every year, year in, year out. Just saying. There's people who make way more than him. Not way more, but a lot more. A typical Steelers shit show from Donald. Roberta, I don't see Mason coming back to the Steelers as long as Tomlin's head coach. Guys, I understand why we all say that, and I respect what Roberta's saying, no doubt. I definitely do. And I understand why everybody thinks that Mason was wronged, Justin was wronged, and it was a result of Mike. But you know what? These guys aren't talking even shit about Mike. They haven't said anything publicly. They haven't said bad things about him. So I don't know that to be true. I really don't. Again, I don't know. I'm not in that building, but man, I don't think that to be true. I think he'll come back, regardless if Tomlin's there or not. It just has to be the right situation, guys. It does, for both sides. You know, what's the money going to look like for Mason? You know, he wants to make a couple bucks too, you know. What do the Steelers offer him? I think the Steelers will offer him $4 or $5 million a year to come in and be the third or the second. I really do. I mean, Josh Dobbs got paid a bag, $8 million for 2 years to be the third. Chase Alderson definitely puts us in a spot to grab a quarterback round one now. Guys, I don't think any quarterback of value is going to be there at 21. I mean, I hate to burst everybody's bubble, but you got to be realist, guys. You got to be real about this. I know we are all going to sit here and put our fan hats on, and we are going to put our terrible towels. We're going to put them over our heads. We're going to be waving those sons of bitches on draft night, and there's going to come the reality that there isn't a good quarterback available. That's a first-round talent at 21. That's going to become the reality. And we're going to have to say, well, Steelers, let's hope that you go back and do the things that you should do. Draft best player available. That's what you should be doing. I'm just saying, guys, this is the reality of this. I don't want the fans to get overexcited for a Joe Milton trade. That's not going to happen. Not. It's just not. The Steelers aren't going to be able to draft a valuable quarterback at 21. It's just not going to happen. It's reality. And again, I am never negative Nancy about this shit, but I tell you the truth, and those are the truths. I'm not going to sit here and put content up every day and go, Steelers shocking quarterback possibility. I'm not going to do that to you and say the same rumor shit that is put up. I'm not doing that to you guys. I'm not. But that's where you guys get a lot of these ideas too. And that's okay because they could be realities. I just don't think them to be coming true. I don't think it makes sense for the Steelers' plan. I just don't. All right, guys, we need some more of you to hit the shit out of that like button. Beat the shit out of that like button like you freaking own it, man. It's absolutely free to hit the like button. It's absolutely free to share the show. Let's get to 100 likes here while we are live streaming only on Mike Drop Sports and the show Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason, as always. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you are waiting for. Join the conversation here each and every single day on the channel. Also, my friends, everybody out there in Mike Drop Mafia world, TJ Watt. A signed TJ Watt jersey could be yours. When we reach 10,000 subscribers, this giveaway of a signed TJ Watt authentic game jersey could be yours. Let's go, baby. 99 cents a month. Always be 99 cents a month. All you got to do is get subscribed to Mike Drop Sports. Hell, you might even be gifted a membership here on the channel. So let's keep going, guys. Again, we try to get through all of your comments It's a lot harder nowadays here on the channel because we get a hell of a lot more viewers. We get a hell of a lot more people coming through. So it is a lot harder, but I try. So get in here early. Put your comment in early, and I get to them as fast as I can. Downtown, yes, rumors have said Mason could be. Yeah, he could be coming back. But why would he want to come back here? With Tomlin still being his usual jag-off self. Go, nah, run to Canada. Rudolph, run. M. David Dillinger, a few weeks ago, I remember hearing we were asking the Jags about a trade for Trevor Lawrence. David, that was not true. That was clickbait. That was not true. That was created by a guy on X, some guy trying to get streams, trying to get views, and he suckered y'all into it. It's not true, man. So don't listen to that. It would not happening. First of all, his salary is fucking crazy. And what it would take to get Trevor Lawrence from the Jaguars would be franchise fucking suicide. And our names aren't the Cleveland Browns, man. Our stadium doesn't have the name of shit bowl on it. You know, we can't be compared to those teams. And we're not going to make those stupid deals. But I know what you're talking about, David. Mark Malone, dude, we could build the perfect team for a young quarterback, then swing and miss on high pedigree quarterbacks until all of those guys retire. Absolutely, you could. And I think that's what you should do. You could build a perfect team because you have the resources to do it. You have the opportunity in front of you to do it. You can't fumble the ball, though, here, guys. You can't fuck it up if you're Omar Khan, and I don't think he has yet. And I know a lot of people are bagging him right now because of no quarterback being signed, but I think this is part of a greater plan. I think this is part of a bigger picture, and I think we all need to pay attention. Again, the Steelers have one of the youngest offensive lines in the NFL in terms of years in the NFL experience. They are going to grow. Those guys are good. You're going to have Troy Fautanu, who I think is going to be a real star in this league. I think Broderick Jones comes back to life here in 2025. I think Mason McCormick could be a real stud, as James Daniels now officially not going to be returning to the Pittsburgh Steelers, as he now is a Miami Dolphin. I believe a Miami Dolphin. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then you have Isaac Seumalo. Maybe you find another younger guy there. The guys there are options. And this Steelers offensive line is going to grow, even regardless of dumbass Pat Meyer. I truly believe this Steelers offensive line is just going to gel, and it's going to be easy for any coach to come in and coach these guys because they're just going to be that damn good. Zach Frazier's a first-round talent, guys. I'm sorry. He was better than all the centers in that draft, every one of them. I told you last summer he was the best damn center in that draft, and he certainly was. And the Steelers got him in round 2 with what, 50 or 55, pick 50 or 55, something like that, 51, something around. It's hard to remember. But they stole Zach Frazier. Zach Frazier is first-round talent, my opinion. Troy Fautanu, going to be a real stud, I'm telling you. Broderick Jones, they didn't trade up for him for no reason, guys. He's not going to be a bust. He's going to be better. I'm telling you now, he's going to be better. Just my opinions. Jason could be wrong. Jason could be dead wrong. Mason McCormick, what a find. Now that guy got a lot of starter minutes, a lot of games under his belt this year as a rookie, and that just spells good things for offensive linemen. The more they do, the better they get, man. That is exactly how it goes. All right, guys, I'm going to get a drink, but 3 more of you smash the shit out of that like button real quick for us here on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason. Let's keep going. Again, it's absolutely free to do it, man. Chase Alderson says, love DK and GP if they can grow up. I think DK is an absolute tried and true professional, and I think he's already grown up. I think he'll be just fine. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. We love it, Miss Pittsburgh. Appreciate it. Mark Malone, the quarterback come first and foremost. Everything else is secondary and more easily obtainable. I agree, 1,000%. American Militia. No A-Rod was openly talking shit on his wide receivers on Pat McAfee, which is on ESPN. I know what you're talking about now, American Militia. I know what you're talking about. He was saying that they didn't run the right depth. He was talking about Mike Williams that ended up being a Pittsburgh Steeler. Moneybags. I went back and watched A-Rod highlights last year. Sign me up. That arm talent is crazy. That's from Moneybags. What's up, Moneybags with the Steelers profile picture. Daniel Warman, spot on. Jason DK will be a leader in the locker room and great for GP. Thanks, Mark Malone. Yeah, both wide receivers will make a young quarterback's job much easier for sure. Sleeping lady in the house. DK actually blocks. With the two threats, we will see the running game play action open up. Absolutely. Absolutely, sleeping lady. Nice copper mug. Thank you, man. Star Ho. It's a Star Ho mug. Number one Cowboys fan. Do you think the Cowboys will do better in the future? I think the Cowboys are dog shit. And why do I say that? It's because Jerry Jones don't know how to fucking be an owner. Be the fucking owner and allow people to know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to talking about talent. Be the guys that do that. That's what you need to do. Chubb is going to the Chiefs. That's from Daniel Warman. Oh, I didn't hear that, man. Do you think DK trade? I definitely do. I do like the DK trade, man. Let's check NFL free agency news right now, guys. Again, free agency kicks off tomorrow officially. We are in that tampering period, that so-called legal tampering period, but free agency has been going on since the fucking year ended. Let's be honest, guys. Let's just double check, man, anything going on. In the meantime, two more of you smash that like button for us, man. Chiefs free agent signings. Why Kansas City hasn't made any big additions. Sorry, I was just reading something here, guys, trying to see. Man, how about the 49ers, man? They have dumped the fucking house, guys. Dumped the house. Guess who the top trending person is right now on the internet? Take a wild guess. Aaron fucking Rodgers, guys. Aaron Rodgers. Steelers should get Jameis Winston from Brian White. I've thought about that, guys. I love Jameis, but you know what, man? His interceptions are just too much. He throws far too many interceptions. I love Jameis. I do. I love him. Let's keep going here, guys. Sorry, I want to bring this up to date here. I just got to make sure no news is broke since we've been on here. Thank you for us hitting 60 likes. Let's get up to 70 here. 10 more of you real quick. That'd be awesome. Full list team by team. Let's see where we're at here, guys. I still am like perplexed too by that deal that the Bills did with Josh Allen. My God, dude. That dude hadn't even won a Super Bowl yet. All right, guys, let's talk about some of the people inside of the division here so far during free agency. I think that's important. Also, the Baltimore Ravens, they retained so far left tackle Ronnie Stanley, 3 years, $60 million. Fullback Patrick Ricard on a 1-year deal. The finances haven't been totally upgraded yet. The Josh Allen deal, 6 years, $330 million, dude. They did keep Khalil Shakir 4 years, $60.2 million. That was a pretty good one. Let's talk about where we at here, guys. Sorry. Just trying to find the Bengals. I want to see what the Bengals. I don't want to bass them up. Buffalo. Bengals ain't even on here. They must not have done anything so far. So now we got to find the Browns. I don't know where they're at on this list. These fucking things, man. These people are junk. CBS is junk. All I'm looking for is a list. That's it. But anyway, how about the Browns getting Kenny Kitten mittens, man? Well, that's fucking crazy, too. So right now, guys, let's talk about this to start wrapping up the show. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Jacoby Brissett, Marcus Mariota, Mason Rudolph, Joe Flacco, and Mac Jones. Those are the remaining quarterbacks. As Daniel Jones, he went and signed a 1-year deal with the Colts for 1 year, $14 million, guys. That's a big deal to bring in Daniel Jones for 1 year. He will be competing with Anthony Richardson for that starting job. And if things work out, maybe you see Anthony Richardson moved and Daniel Jones become the starter there. Let's That's pretty crazy, man. Sam Darnold again, 3 years, $100 million. Justin Fields, the other quarterback signed, 2 years, $40 million. These are those quarterbacks of significance here in free agency, guys. The list wasn't that great. The list wasn't that great. I mean, it wasn't. Mac Jones's butt. The running backs remaining that the Steelers could probably go after. J.K. Dobbins, I don't think will happen. Nick Chubb, I don't think will happen. Kareem Hunt, Rico Dowdle, Gus Edwards, Miles Sanders, he was just released. And Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback. Wide receivers still available. Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs. DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Mike Williams, Elijah Moore, McCole Hardman, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Brandon Cooks, Noah Brown, Tyler Boyd, Juju Smith-Schuster, Nelson Aguilar, Van Jefferson, Tyler Lockett, older guys. So those are some of the names at some of the positions that they could go and get, man. Good night, downtown. Oh, he did? Thanks, David. Thank you. Some of those lists probably have some updates on them. Chiefs Reed to the Saints. Thanks, Sean. See you, man. Grandpa played for the Steelers. Oh, that's awesome, Terry. That's pretty damn cool. All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping it up, man. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribed. If you're not a member of the channel, man, it's 99 cents a month. Get that membership. Hit that like button before you leave, and don't forget to join us tomorrow. Again, I believe the deal for Aaron Rodgers is already done. I believe he signs officially and announces it tomorrow on the Pat McAfee show. That's what I think happens. Sorry if I didn't get to your chat, but you got to get here early, guys. I do my absolute best to answer all the chat questions, but sometimes you got to get here early, man. It pays to be the early bird. So make sure you guys get here early. Thank you for joining us on Mic Drop Sports and the show Steel City Live. We are kicking ass and taking names here, and we're going to take over this internet game here on YouTube. So join us tomorrow, and until then, peace, my friends. See you on the next one.